Chapter 2:15. When Jinping's face turned pale. She never expected that the trap she had set up with great difficulty would backfire on her. Mengyu. Mingyu met Wen Jinping's angry and venomous gaze. She found it funny and sad at the same time. The little bit of luck in her heart finally dissipated at this moment. Wen Jinping and I usually have a good relationship. Besides, as I said just now, she brainwashed me a few times in advance. When I saw Miss Yu go on stage and say those words, my head heated up. The first thing I thought was that she wanted to bully Wen Jinping, so I went up and quarreled with her. Later, because of this quarrel, it led to physical contact. Just as Mingyu said this, a reporter couldn't help but ask, since you have a good relationship with Miss Wen, why are you attacking her now? Mingyu could tell that the reporter was stirring up trouble, but she wasn't afraid. She simply said, when you find out that the person you've been treating sincerely has been using you and even wants to destroy you after using you, what will you do? I wasn't attacking her. I was just fighting back. The reporter's eyes lit up. Just as he was about to ask again, Mingyu continued, when they saw us pushing and shoving, the others were afraid that something would happen, so they came forward to pull us away. As they were pulling, someone pushed me from behind, causing me to bump into Miss Yu, causing her to be hospitalized. And I almost fell off the stage and accompanied Miss Yu to the hospital. The reporters who followed her reacted very quickly. Soon, someone asked the main point, was that person Miss Wen? Just as Mingyu was about to speak, she heard a sharp shout, Mingyu. Everyone's attention instantly shifted to Wen Jinping. Her eyes were red, and her face was filled with hurt and disbelief. She said, how could you do this? Just to avoid responsibility, you made up such a lie and pushed all the blame onto me. We're best friends, you know. How could you do this? I really misjudged you. This complaint was so sad and mournful that a few reporters who were protective of the fairer sex even showed some sympathy for her. Mingyu frowned slightly. Before she could refute, Yu Jingyu was one step ahead of her. Someone will investigate whether she lied or not. This is a vicious case of intentional injury. Before you came, we already called the police. If you have anything to say next, you can say it to the police yourself. At this point, Yu Jingyu looked deeply at Wen Jinping and sneered. By the way, Miss Wen, please be mentally prepared. We have evidence on our hands. If you don't want people to know, don't do it in the first place. When she heard that, she couldn't control of herself. This once again. A hint of coldness flashed across Yu Jingyu's eyes. Her words were actually meant to test Wen Jinping. After all, Wen Jinping's mental fortitude was still a problem. She still dared to play tricks on her biological sister. She was really tired of living. Yu Jingyu's words were no different from convicting Wen Jinping. The reporters were like great white sharks that smelled blood. They scrambled to squeeze into the ward and were thrown out by the bodyguards not long after. Mingyu turned around and bowed deeply to Yu Yushi. She glanced coldly at Wen Jinping and left. Chapter 2:16. After Su Yiyan left the hospital, she had been paying attention to the aftermath of this incident. Yu Jingyu did not disappoint her. Very soon, she saw the live broadcast of this incident on the internet. Yes, live broadcast. Wen Jinping felt uneasy when she saw so many bodyguards in black. She simply asked a few reporters to broadcast everything that happened in the ward on the spot, just in case. In the end, the development of the situation was completely beyond her expectations. The script that she had originally planned had completely backfired on her. The Public Relations Department of Dongqing City had been waiting for this moment for a long time. As soon as the live broadcast came out, they issued an announcement, declaring that they would pursue this matter to the end. In addition, the reporters who were broadcasting the live broadcast happened to capture the police officers in the hospital preparing to arrest them before the live broadcast ended. Of course, the drama of the plastic sisters fighting on the spot was sent to the hot topic. Before this, Wen Jinping had been ridiculed because of the incident. If she had been tactful and kept quiet for a period of time, waiting for the onlookers to forget about this incident, she might have been able to make a comeback. But she was too impatient. Because of this, wouldn't her old grudges be digging her own grave? Su Yiyan looked at the almost one-sided comments on the internet and smiled slightly. She packaged all these happy video messages and sent them to Hu Chenhuan. When Hu Chenhuan received these messages, she was busy with a video conference. When she heard the familiar notification tone, she directly interrupted the report of the employee on the other end. In front of a group of company executives, she took out her phone and started chatting. Yan Yan loves you the most in the world, am I awesome? Picture 1, Picture 2, across the screen, Hu Chenhuan could imagine Su Yiyan's slightly raised chin and gleaming eyes because of pride. She looked very much like a proud cat wagging its tail after being praised. Hua, awesome, give you a little red flower. JPG, it was this old cadre's emoji again. Su Yiyan was amused and sent another message. Yan Yan loves you the most in the world, I've been busy recently. Originally, I was too lazy to find trouble with her, but she insisted on jumping in front of me. Don't you think she deserves a beating from society? Hu Chenhuan said in her heart, no, she owes you a beating. Hua, yeah, you're so busy, but she still came to make you worry. She deserves a beating. Pfft. Su Yiyan couldn't help but laugh when she saw this reply. This guy could really hit the nail on the head every time and make her happy. Yan Yan, who loves you most in the world, why do I love you so much? Face rubbing. JPG, Big Boss Hua, who had learned a lot of bootlicking, naturally knew what he meant. A slight blush quickly appeared on her face, and it happened so quickly that the few senior executives who were still hanging on the internet almost thought that they were seeing things. However, there were still one or two people who were particularly fast. They captured the scene and sent it to the company's small group chat. Shocking. Big Boss could blush too. Ah, is he in love? A single stone raised 1,000 ripples. For a moment, those who were slacking and those who weren't all gathered in a small group and started to discuss this once-in-a-100-year spectacle. Until someone in the know ran out and revealed, how is he in love? He's about to get married. I heard that Big Boss has had a crush on the goddess for a long time. How can he not be happy when he finally gets the beauty? As soon as this was said, it immediately attracted the attention of everyone. After a round of explanation, everyone suddenly understood. The matter had just started. Although he was angry, he still reacted quickly. He directly bought a group of fake reviewers and said that Si Mingyu had been bribed by Yu Jingyu and Yu Yusher's management company. He deliberately poured dirty water on Wen Jinping to seek to get away with it. The reason why the Yu sisters were making things difficult for Wen Jinping was entirely out of jealousy. In addition, the video taken from that clip was indeed not enough to convict Wen Jinping, so Wen Jinping simply insisted that she had been framed by a group of people. Some bystanders were successfully brainwashed and felt that Wen Jinping had been framed. However, most people, especially those who had witnessed Wen Jinping's face being slapped in the face, quickly found out that this excuse was untenable. Chapter 218. Or are they jealous that you found such an outstanding boyfriend? Needless to say, Su Yiyan had really thought about that when he saw those whitewashing methods. After all, Hu Xiaofeng was a person with a strange brain circuit. To put it bluntly, he was too narcissistic and did not know himself well. In his heart, he must also feel that Wen Jinping being able to find such a rich and handsome boyfriend like him was a point that would make other girls jealous and hate her. Hu Xiaofeng bought fake reviewers, so Yu Jingyu naturally did not want to be outdone. She bought a group of fake reviewers to fight with him. Perhaps it was because of the protagonist's halo, but Yu Jingyu, who was supposed to be much more capable than Hu Xiaofeng, could only fight to a draw with him in the end. When the gods fought, the little devils suffered. The ones who were really suffering were the production team. Ever since when Jinping joined their show, she had caused a lot of trouble. The production team's higher-ups had long been angry with her and wanted to kick her out. However, the young master of family Hu stood behind her, and they could not afford to offend him. This time, Yu Yushi was an artiste of Dongqing City, and Dongqing City was one of the sponsors of their show. Furthermore, she was the second daughter of the Yu family, so they could not afford to offend her. Should they kick Wen Jinping out? If they kicked her out now, would family Hu make things difficult for them? The higher-ups were really worried. Su Yiyan's instructions reached the production team's director's ears at this time. What our boss means is that everyone is trying to make a living, and no one has it easy. Although this incident was bad and we suffered a loss, in the end, it was because some people were not good enough. It has nothing to do with the production team, so we will not really pursue the responsibility of the production team. Moreover, Dongqing City also invested in this show, so we naturally don't want to see our efforts go to waste. Wen Jinping is very popular now, so we can keep her. After all, if everyone in a show is good, I'm afraid there won't be any conflicts. How can there be popularity without conflicts? Don't you think so? The director was not a fool. How could he not understand Dong Cheng's attitude towards Wen Jinping? In this world, there were always some people who were very good at the art of speaking. Once they opened their mouth, they would make people happy. Even if they knew that the other party had ulterior motives, they would still be willing to help. As for some people, the moment they opened their mouths, people would feel disgusted. Perhaps they would choose to submit because they were afraid of the other party's power. No matter how well they acted on the surface, it was inevitable that they would obey in public but oppose in private. I understand. Thank you for your understanding, President Su. The same thing will never happen again. Wen Jinping will stay, but we will stop her from doing anything else. Don't worry, President Su. Then I'll leave the rest of the children in your care. You're welcome. Just like that, Wen Jinping was asked to stay. She thought that Hu Xiaofeng's attempt to clear her name had worked, or that Hu Xiaofeng had pressured the production team so that they did not dare to chase her out. But no matter what, it was good that she could stay. Staying meant that she still had a chance. However, she soon realized that she was too naive. Although the police did not have enough evidence and could not convict her, the contestants in the production team who interacted with each other day and night were not like those who did not know anything. They all saw how well Si Mingyu usually treated Wen Jinping and how much she took care of her. Moreover, Si Mingyu had a straightforward personality, so the other contestants were actually very happy to interact with her. Chapter 219. Moreover, when this matter was first exposed, the few contestants who had run over to pull Si Mingyu also spontaneously followed suit. It meant that they were pulling Si Mingyu at that time. A few of them were pulling one person, so they should have been able to hold her back. However, Si Mingyu still rushed out in the end. Now that they thought about it, that strength did not seem to be hers alone. In other words, someone was indeed pushing her from behind. They did not have any evidence to prove that this person was Wen Jinping, but their rationality was already biased towards Si Mingyu and the others. They subconsciously wanted to stay away from this terrifying woman. How terrifying was a woman who could easily push away her friends who treated her sincerely and stood up for her own interests. It would be fine if they stayed away, but the closer they were to her, the more likely they would be used as stepping stones by her. With this thought in mind, the other contestants who did not pay much attention to her began to consciously distance themselves from her. The so-called isolation that Wen Jinping used to deceive Si Mingyu became a reality in the end. Other than that, Yun Luoshan also returned to the production team. Si Mingyu and Yu Yushir were both in the top 20. After they withdrew, their rankings were adjusted accordingly. Yun Luoshan and the contestant behind her were called back. This youngest girl, who had always been shy and timid after joining the team, seemed to have grown up a lot after this incident. She smiled at the other girls who were usually more talkative. Then, her smile faded as she walked in front of Wen Jingping. Before Wen Jingping could finish speaking, Yun Luoshan interrupted her. Sister Yushir's matter won't end just like that. This is just the beginning. With that, she turned around and left without waiting for Wen Jingping's reaction. Wen Jingping looked at her back and thought of what she had just said. For some reason, she felt a chill in her heart. After Su Yiyan asked Xia Junxing to convey her attitude to the production team, she completely ignored this matter. Half a month after the construction team officially started, Su Yiyan's medicinal cuisine restaurant was officially completed. All the furniture inside was neatly arranged, waiting for the arrival of the owner and guests. Dining hall. Why does this name sound a little strange? How is it strange? Didn't Gahuan mean eating happily? Which restaurant doesn't want customers to eat happily in their own restaurant and come to visit often? You have a point. More than a dozen employees who had been sent over earlier were discussing the name of the store and some of the furnishings in the store. This was the scene that Su Yiyan saw when he entered the room. He raised his eyebrows slightly and coughed lightly to attract everyone's attention. Their discussion came to an abrupt end. They hurriedly lined up and shouted, "Hello, boss." Su Yiyan laughed in spite of himself. He waved his hand and said, "No need to be so serious. Some of you are my relatives, and some of you are my brother's trusted aides. You are all trustworthy people." As soon as Su Yiyan said this, the eyes of several young people lit up, but they didn't try to curry favor with him on the spot. Su Yiyan saw this and nodded with satisfaction. He smiled and said, "Uncle and my brother should have told you before sending you here. What do you need to pay attention to?" Several people looked at each other and said truthfully, "President Su told us to listen to Mrs. Orders." Chapter 220. That's good. I'm actually not difficult to get along with. As long as you respect me, I'll respect you too. But if I find out that someone has violated the restaurant's rules and has done something against reason and morality, then I'm sorry, but I can only do business according to the rules. It doesn't matter if you're my relative or my brother's confidant, it won't work for me. Everyone was stunned and suddenly realized that the smiling young girl in front of them might not be as simple as she looked. Although it's not nice to hear, I like to say the ugly words first. This way, it's good for you, good for me, and good for everyone. It can save a lot of trouble. As soon as Su Yiyan finished speaking, a young man asked in a clear voice, "Then, boss, what are the rules of our restaurant?" Su Yiyan looked in the direction of the voice and found that it was a young man in his early 20s. He was a little tanned and looked very smart. "The rules of our restaurant are very simple. You should have heard that our restaurant is going to make medicinal cuisine." What is medicinal cuisine? It's food with Chinese herbs. Eating this food can cure diseases and strengthen the body. But since it's medicine, it must be effective for the disease. Eating it indiscriminately or taking the wrong amount of medicine will not improve the body, but will damage the body. It was the first time that everyone present had heard this, and they were a little confused for a while. Food was food, how did it have anything to do with medicine? So, was this a restaurant or a pharmacy? Su Yiyan didn't have the energy to wait for them to carefully digest these words and continued, "Among you people, I will pick a group to be in charge of the kitchen in the future. That is to say, a large part of the medicinal cuisine sold in the restaurant will need you to make it. The rules of the restaurant are that the people in charge of the kitchen are not allowed to make medicinal cuisine without my permission after leaving the kitchen. Whether it's to sell it or to make it for your family, you have to get my permission first. Otherwise, if there's a problem with it, the restaurant will not be responsible for it. When everyone heard Su Yiyan's words, they were even more confused. They thought that they were here to do odd jobs, but now they found that it was not easy. Not only did they have to know how to cook, but they also had to learn how to cure diseases. Boss, we don't know how to cook, and we don't know what those herbs are. What should we do? You don't have to be nervous. I'll teach you later. I will teach you how to make medicinal cuisine, how to distinguish the medicinal herbs, and how to measure their weight. Su Yiyan paused and joked, in addition, employees also have benefits in this regard. What benefits? If the staff in the store need the medicinal cuisine, they can provide it for free. The relevant family members have the right to try it first and enjoy the subsequent discounts. Everyone looked at each other. It was obvious that they had no idea what Su Yiyan was talking about. Su Yiyan had already expected this, so she was prepared before she came. You probably don't have much of an idea of what I'm talking about. How about this, I'll pick 2 of you who haven't been feeling well recently and make a medicinal cuisine for each of you to try and see how effective it is. Everyone present frowned at the same time and looked at each other, as if they were trying to find someone who was not feeling well and had to take the initiative to stand up and be the model. Who would have thought that Su Yiyan did not even need to go through such a process and directly chose 2 people from the crowd? Chapter 221. Su Yiyan called out a man and a woman in their early 20s. The 2 of them were shocked and stood in front of him uneasily. Su Yiyan was amused by their reaction and said helplessly, "Don't be nervous. I won't do anything to you. What are your names? Introduce yourselves." The 2 of them were a little embarrassed when they were suddenly used as examples. However, the boy was more proactive. He coughed lightly and said loudly, "My name is Axian Honliang. I'm 26 this year. I used to be President Su's assistant. I'm unmarried and single." Pfft. Hearing the last 2 words, the row of people behind Axian Honliang laughed out loud. Su Yiyan couldn't help but laugh. He patted him on the shoulder and said, "It's okay. Our feng shui is good, and there are many girls. Maybe in a few months, you'll be single." Axian Honliang didn't care about the people behind him holding back their laughter. He laughed sheepishly. After Su Yiyan laughed, he turned to look at the other girl. "What about you?" "My name is Qing Yishuan. I'm 24 this year. I just graduated not long ago. I'm also single." Considering that girls were thin-skinned, they didn't laugh this time. Su Yiyan didn't tease her and went straight to the point. "Is your menstrual cycle very messy? Sometimes it's delayed for a long time, and sometimes it's suddenly brought forward. It's rarely accurate. Occasionally, you'll have waist and knees ache, dizziness, and tinnitus." Qing Yishuan was stunned and said in surprise, How did you know?" "I can tell," Su Yiyan said and turned to look at Axian Honliang. "As for you, do you often sweat?" Axian Honliang looked confused. "Sweat? What is sweat?" "When you're asleep, you always sweat a lot. The amount of sweat you sweat is far more than the average person. The specific symptoms are that you always feel hot when you're asleep and sweat non-stop. When you wake up, the sweat will stop. However, because you sweat too much in your sleep, you will feel thirsty." Axian Honliang's expression changed slightly. "That's right. Is this also an illness? Can it be cured? Can I still be saved?" Su Yiyan looked at the person in front of him who was scared half to death by himself. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Don't scare yourself. Your current condition is only moderate night sweating. You'll recover after some rest." Axian Honliang was relieved. That's good, that's good. Apart from the two of them, the rest of the people were a little surprised when they saw this scene. For a moment, they even wondered if the two people who were called out were fake. Otherwise, how could he have identified their illness after just meeting them for less than 10 minutes and just listening to their self-introduction? This was too miraculous. Su Yiyen didn't care what these people thought. He led the group of people to the kitchen. Since the illness has been confirmed, the next step is to prepare the medicinal cuisine. It just so happens that I haven't streamed in a few days. I'll take this opportunity to catch up on my lost time. Su Yiyen was indeed very busy recently. Not only was she busy with the store, but she was also busy with the management company that Su Yuxuan had handed over to her. He had just taken over the company and there were a lot of things to do. If it weren't for Xia Junxing helping to share some of the burden, she was afraid that she would have been so busy that she wanted to quit. The sudden return of the missing people caused Su Yiyen's bald clique to be the first to react. They rushed to spread the news. Therefore, Su Yiyen had just opened the live broadcast when he saw the screen full of "Host, help." Those who didn't know better would have thought that they had entered an emergency crime scene. Chapter 222. Su Yiyen wasn't the only one who was dumbfounded. The new employees behind her were also dumbfounded. What kind of live stream room was their big boss doing? Why were there so many people asking her for help? Help? What life? Whose life? The bald party begs the host to save this baby. The auntie party begs the host to love me again. The insomniac party seconded. Host, look at me. I'm begging for a child. My husband and I really want a child of our own. Please help. Su Yiyen looked at the screen full of people who were begging for help in surprise. She blinked and asked in confusion, "What's going on? I didn't see you guys so anxious before. Host, you didn't disappear for such a long time before. Host, you're no longer the diligent little cutie who took the time to live stream for us no matter how busy she was. Tell us honestly, where have you been all this time? Was she abducted by someone? Do you still need to ask? The host must have been kidnapped by her husband." He. Su Yiyen's mouth twitched slightly. She sighed and said, "That's not it. I've been really busy recently." We know. You guys are busy spending time with each other." He. Su Yiyen was speechless. They didn't even have a chance to see each other now. How could they spend time with each other? Fortunately, the audience soon noticed the background of the live stream behind her. Is the host in some home's kitchen? Why does it look different from the previous one? It does look a little different. However, I've confirmed it with my eyes. No matter which one it is, I can't afford it. The host seemed to have said before that she wasn't short of money. She probably started the live stream out of interest or simply wanted to promote those Chinese herbs. Seeing that the audience's topic was starting to deviate to her real life, Su Yiyen hurriedly coughed to draw everyone's attention back. This is actually the reason why I haven't been live streaming recently. Su Yiyen picked up the live stream equipment and turned the camera around so that it could capture some details in the kitchen. However, she made sure that she and the people not far away were not in the camera. This is the small kitchen in my new store. It was recently renovated. Today is the first time it's being used after the renovation. As soon as Su Yiyen said this, the bullet screen froze for a second or two. New shop. Is it what I think it means? The streamer is going to open a physical store. Doesn't that mean that we can eat the host's medicinal cuisine in real life? We don't have to stare at the lucky draw anymore. Really? Where is it? Oh, my baldness can be saved. Then does that mean my period can be cured too? And my insomnia? Mine, isn't the main point that if the streamer really opens a physical store, we can go to the store and see the streamer's real face? Upstairs, you're really smart. Even if it weren't for the medicinal cuisine, I would still go to the shop to watch the streamer. I'm going. Yes, yes, yes. I also want to watch the streamer. The streamer's hands are so beautiful and her voice is so pleasant. She must be a great beauty in real life. Come on, let's team up and play with the streamer, let's go. Team +1, team +2, the bullet screen was filled with joy. Su Yiyen stared at the bullet screen that said they wanted to watch her and shook her head regretfully. Chapter 223. She had already planned to install a scanning device at the door as soon as the store opened and send the customer's image data to her computer. She only needed to look at the computer in the small room to know their physical condition and prepare the appropriate amount of medicinal cuisine for them. She didn't need to meet them face to face. Su Yiyen felt that she was really clever. She smiled faintly and said, I do have the idea of opening a physical store. During the last live broadcast, I saw someone talking about the problem of Chinese medicine being difficult to popularize. After the broadcast, I thought about it and felt that it wasn't an easy problem to solve. After thinking about it, I simply found a store and opened a physical store, a medicinal cuisine store that can't be found anywhere else. The host is really rich. She can talk about opening a store so casually. It's like eating. I have an inexplicable hatred for the rich. However, I still want to say something. Well done. Please open a few more stores and save the children. Am I the only one who is more concerned about the price? The Chinese medicine in the host's hands is grown from extinct plants. You can't buy it even if you have the money. The price. The students are a little worried. You can rest assured about the price. It's not much different from the food sold in high-end restaurants. It's still possible to occasionally consume it once a month. This was also the price that Su Yiyen gave after considering it. Although she didn't open the store for profit, the basic cost and employee's salary still had to be taken into account. She didn't want to seek a huge profit, but she couldn't let herself suffer too much. Just like what the audience said, the things in her hands were now unique. If she really wanted to sell them for profit, many rich people would pay a high price. After all, everyone had 3 disasters and 6 diseases and was afraid of death. The audience obviously thought so too. They thought that they would get a sky-high price, but it turned out to be similar to the food in high-end restaurants. Although the food in high-end restaurants was expensive, those dishes weren't as magical as the hosts. They could still bear the pain and try it occasionally. Thinking about it this way, some people seem to have expectations for life. Work hard to make money, go. The location of the store is in City A. I will write the specific address directly on the private page of the live broadcast room. The official opening date is tentatively set 3 days later at 9 o'clock. On the opening day, the store will have a 20% discount. In addition, due to my limited ability and the limited materials I have on hand, in the early stages of opening the store, I don't support selling outside the city or even within the city. You can only spend in the store. As soon as Su Yiyen's words came out, the viewers in the live streaming room were instantly filled with grief. F***CK, City A. Is the host from a city? City A is so far away from me. It's very far from here, and it's not even available outside the same city, let alone in other cities. Will I never be able to eat the host's medicinal cuisine in this lifetime? I'm in A. In the city, there were no classes in 3 days. I'll go to the streamer's shop to taste the medicinal cuisine on your behalf. I'll also help you meet the streamer. Not in A. The people in the city felt that they had missed out on 100 million yuan. They were crying miserably. On the other hand, the people in the city rubbed their palms as if they had been injected with chicken blood. They were waiting for the opening day of Su Yiyan's new shop. Chapter 224. This rule was very capricious. If it were in an ordinary restaurant, this rule alone would be enough to dissuade 70 to 80% of the customers. However, in this live stream room, although the bullet comments went blank for a few seconds, when the audience reacted, they didn't reject it as expected. I know. The host has repeatedly emphasized that the medicinal cuisine is like food, but it's still medicine. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't eat medicine. The host is being responsible for us. I believe in the host. The dishes in the host's previous live stream room are super delicious. I like all of them. Just give me a portion and I'll eat it to my heart's content. I'm very easy to raise. Obediently waiting. JPG, compared to this, I'm more concerned about whether the medicinal cuisine in the host's new shop is the same as the ones that appeared in the host's live stream room. After the store opens, will the host still draw prizes in the future? Seeing that the audience adapted well, Su Yiyan heaved a sigh of relief. Yes, the medicinal cuisine in the store is the same as the ones that appeared in my previous live stream room. New menus will be added one after another. I'll also keep the prizes. Every time a new medicinal cuisine is released, I'll live stream it and draw prizes. The lucky viewers who won the previous lottery will be able to make a medicinal cuisine exclusive to them. The prizes will be given out after the next live stream. As soon as Su Yiyan finished speaking, the screen was filled with, "Oh yeah. Hooray." Su Yiyan couldn't help but laugh. Okay, let's stop talking about the new shop. Now, let's get back to business and start today's live stream. Although the renovation of the shop had just been completed a few days ago, some necessary ingredients and herbs had been sent in a batch. It was also Su Yiyan's intention to take advantage of these few days to select a few people who had some talent in this field to help her. She had asked someone to arrange it in advance. Su Yiyan first took out Euchomia ulmoides, mulberry parasite, wolfberry, ginseng, amomum, tremella, and other herbs from the herb wall behind him. Then, he took out a processed black-bone chicken and pork belly. Today, I'll be making amomum, tremella, and pork belly soup and Euchomia black-bone chicken soup. These two soups are employee benefits and won't be used for the prizes. Employee benefits. That's right. Not only do our employees have the right to try the new dishes first, but they also have the right to receive their personal medicinal cuisine for free. Su Yiyan's words caused the viewers in the live streaming room to hold their breaths for a few seconds. Soon after, the screen was flooded with comments. F***CK, does the streamer's shop still lack employees? He just graduated from university and knows how to weld. Is it too late for me to resign and apply for a job in the streamer's shop? Woo, jealousy makes me ugly. Jealousy makes me cry. Jealousy separates me from my body. Previously, the viewers in the live stream room were still envious of the people in a city who were close to Su Yiyan. Now, they were envious of the employees in Su Yiyan's shop. Yu Zian, who was watching the live stream and paying close attention to the future lady boss, couldn't help but narrow his eyes when he heard this. He was so envious that his eyes turned red. Oh my God, were the employee benefits in young madam's shop so good? Was it too late for him to jump ship now? No, it's too late for that. Chapter 225. Hui Chenwan would never have thought that his loyal subordinate, who always placed him first in everything, would one day secretly plan how to use his name to cheat his fiancée of food and drink. The interns, who had been envied and hated even before they officially started working, finally realized how powerful their big boss was. especially after the two soups were boiling and the aroma wafted out. This group of people began to unconsciously steal glances at Su Yiyan. A few of them with weaker concentration even began to sniff unconsciously. The stewing time was a little long. Taking advantage of this time, Su Yiyan simply made some crystal buns and small wontons. The crystal buns that had just come out of the oven had become beautiful and transparent. As soon as the steamer was opened, the overbearing aroma rushed out along with the white smoke, filling the entire kitchen and the live broadcast room. After the small wontons were cooked in the pot, they were sprinkled with a series of seasonings such as green onions and celery. When the fire was boiling, the aroma was so fragrant that it made people forget to leave. Su Yiyan left a steamer of crystal buns and 2 small bowls of wontons for the audience in the live broadcast room to try and draw a prize later. As for the rest, Li Jingwen, the student-looking young man who had first asked about the rules of Su Yiyan's restaurant, took them out and distributed them to the others. More than a dozen employees were already hungry from the aroma of these things. As soon as they saw Li Jingwen come over, they immediately rushed up and grabbed a few buns each and couldn't wait to eat. The crystal buns made by Su Yiyan combined the characteristics of soup dumplings. Not only were the skin thin, but the soup inside was also enough. A few male employees were more impatient. They didn't know that there was soup inside. They bit into the bun one by one. It was so hot that they couldn't help but gasp, but they couldn't bear to spit it out. They could only endure the pain and slowly chew and swallow. A few girls learned their lesson. They carefully bit the edges of the bun, sucked the soup inside, and ate the small bun in a mouthful. That taste was indescribably enjoyable. After eating the bun, they drank a bowl of hot wontons. The soup was fresh and delicious, and the stuffing was sufficient. One bite at a time, it was warm and delicious. Among these people, except for Li Jingwen who went out of the camera to get something, the others didn't show up. Even so, their sighs when they tasted the food still reached the ears of the audience in the live broadcast room intermittently. All of a sudden, they felt that the 2 small bowls in front of them were no longer fragrant, and their hearts felt even more stifled. Even if he turned on the taste and smell simulator, a fake would always be a fake. He would never be able to achieve the satisfaction of actually eating something in his mouth. At this moment, everyone whose fighting spirit had been aroused by the delicious food made up their minds simultaneously. No matter how far away they were, or how busy they were with work, they had to go to Su Yiyan's shop to try out their products. After Su Yiyan gave away the remaining crystal buns and wontons, the 2 soups were almost ready. Su Yiyan turned off the live stream under the pressure of the viewers urging her to stay. She then scooped out 2 bowls of soup and placed them in front of the 2 people. "Let's try it. It should taste all right." It was more than okay. The audience, who had a certain understanding of Su Yiyan's cooking through the crystal buns and wontons, stared at the 2 bowls of soup in front of the 2 people. Their burning gazes were about to burn the 2 people involved. Not long ago, they were secretly glad that they hadn't been chosen to be the model. Now, their intestines were about to turn green with regret. Why hadn't they been chosen just now? Chapter 226. Xan Hanliang and Qing Yishuan held the soup in front of them with trembling hands. They could feel the envious and jealous gazes of the people around them. However, the billowing fragrance that kept entering their nostrils tightly grabbed their attention like a silk thread, making them unable to care about anything else. The 2 of them had just taken a sip when the other dozen people rushed to the table and asked with burning eyes, "How is it? How is it? What's the taste? Is it good?" The 2 of them showed a look of enjoyment at the same time and said cheerfully, "It's super delicious." After that, they learned by themselves. Without the urging of the people around them, they spontaneously talked about their feelings after drinking it. The black chicken soup is sweet with a hint of sweetness. It's stewed until it's soft, so it's super fragrant. The pork tripe soup doesn't have the smell of internal organs at all. It's soft and crisp, and the taste is super good. After the two of them finished speaking, they couldn't help but recall the taste and almost drooled. They didn't care that there were so many people staring at them and buried their heads in drinking. There were a few people who had a good relationship with the two of them. They couldn't help but beg, "Give me a sip, just a sip. For the sake of our good relationship." Xan Hanliang and Cheng Yishuan were stunned. They subconsciously held their bowls tightly, but they couldn't refuse too directly. They could only look at Su Yiyen for help. Su Yiyen received their pitiful gazes and said with amusement, okay, don't crowd around them. This is specially made for them. It's suitable for their physical condition. They can't eat it carelessly. If you really want to drink it, don't worry. After all, this is an employee benefit. When they heard the first half of Su Yiyen's words, they were a little disappointed, but when they heard the second half, they became energetic again. Yes, this is an employee benefit. As long as they are employees of the restaurant, they can enjoy this treatment. Understanding this, many people's eyes lit up, and the gazes they looked at Su Yiyen with became extremely hot. Su Yiyen smiled slightly when he saw this. He knew that his goal had been achieved. If you want people to work for you wholeheartedly, friendship is one thing, but benefits are another. If it was just a pie in the sky, no matter how much affection there would be a day when it would be exhausted. Giving some practical benefits at an appropriate time would give people hope. What's your answer? Would you like to work in my shop? Everyone looked at each other. We're willing. That's good. This is our employee contract. The salary requirements are written on it. In the future, I will appoint a team leader for the front and back kitchen. As for the specifics, it will depend on your learning progress and performance in the next few days. I've already mentioned a few things that you need to pay attention to. What's left is confidentiality. Keep it secret. That's right. You saw it just now. I'm a live streamer, and I haven't shown my face on the internet yet. I didn't plan to do that after opening the shop, so I hope you can help me keep it a secret. Don't let anyone know that I'm the real owner of this shop. This is also the reason why I chose to recruit from my own family instead of recruiting publicly. Understood. We'll help you keep this a secret. We won't let anyone know your identity. Chapter 227. Naturally, no one objected to this. It was already a great privilege for them to be able to enjoy it for free. If they were to take it out without the owner's permission, what was the difference between that and theft? Su Yiyen was quite satisfied with their cooperative attitude and signed a contract with all of them on the spot. Considering the problem of time, Su Yiyen first taught them some simpler stews. The problem of the dosage was not difficult to solve. There was a smart weighing machine in the kitchen that was accurate to 4 digits. When the time came, she only needed to give them the approximate dosage, and they would weigh it themselves. Of course, cooking still required a little talent in the end. People who used the same recipe would eventually make some dishes that were good and some that were not. Su Yiyen spent half a day to roughly divide the kitchen staff and the front shop staff. After that, she let them familiarize themselves with the work in the shop. When everything was settled, it was already close to evening when she came out of the shop. Just as she got into the car, Su Yiyen received a video call request from Hu Chenhuan. "Why are you calling me at this time? Did you miss me?" As soon as the call connected, Hu Chenhuan saw Su Yiyen's cheerful smile. The corners of her lips curled up slightly, and she said honestly, "Yes, I missed you. Bear with it for a few more days. We'll be getting married in a few days." Okay. Hu Chenhuan looked at the person in front of her with a smile. Soon, she noticed the fatigue between her eyebrows and frowned slightly. Are you tired? It's okay. There are a lot of things to do today. Hua Qinhuan seemed to have thought of something when she heard that. She deliberated and said, I heard that you opened a restaurant. Su Yiyan was not surprised that Hua Qinhuan knew about it. Yes, it's a medicinal cuisine restaurant. It will open in 3 days. Then I'll get someone to send you flowers. There will be flowers all over the street. Su Yiyan was startled, but she quickly realized that Hua Qinhuan wanted to declare her sovereignty, so she did not refuse. Okay, then I'll wait and see. I also heard that the employee benefits in your restaurant are very good. They can try the dishes you make for free. That's true. I also heard that the family members of the employees in your shop also receive corresponding benefits. That's right. Family members also have the benefit of priority trial, but they have to pay for it. However, there's a discount. It's based on the distance between relatives. Then, am I considered an employee's family? Su Yiyan was stunned. She finally understood what Hua Qinhuan was trying to say by beating around the bush. She smiled and teased, you don't count. Hua Qinhuan's expression changed slightly, and her eyes darkened. But right after that, he heard Su Yiyan say, you're the boss's wife, a member of this shop. You don't take up a family spot. Lady boss. That's right. I'm the boss, and you're my partner. Doesn't that make you the boss's wife? Hua Qinhuan. That makes sense. I actually have nothing to say to that. Also, you usually eat the medicinal cuisine I make for you. Did I ask you to pay for it? Hua Qinhuan. Her words made him feel like he was living off his wife, even though he was not against living off her. But when it comes to the family members of the employees, your employees can be counted. If it's Hua Xiaofeng's family, then forget about it. I'm already kind enough not to blacklist them. Chapter 228. Su Yiyan suddenly thought of that family, so he said that casually. He didn't want to continue talking about them, which would ruin his mood. So he took the initiative to change the topic. Is Dun Dun still causing trouble recently? Su Yiyan had been busy recently, so he rarely went to Hua Qinhuan's place, not to mention taking Dun Dun out to meet the love of his dreams. The long-term unrequited love made this little guy a little autistic recently. It was not even willing to talk to its master, who used to be its second love. It'll be fine after we get married. Su Yiyan also smiled, yes, it'll be fine after we get married. Dun Dun was with Hua Qinhuan. Whether it was Hua Qinhuan taking Dun Dun to Hua Hua or Ling Xiaoqi taking Hua Hua to Dun Dun, it was not appropriate. They could only wrong Dun Dun and solve this problem after they got married. Wait, I'll come to you on the colorful auspicious cloud soon. Hua Qinhuan was amused by her words and responded with satisfaction, okay, I'll wait for you. As soon as the two ended the call, Hua Qinhuan sent a message to the three of them. He asked them to bring the company's employees to support Su Yiyan in 3 days in the name of the boss's family. When Gu Xiaoyang and the others first received the message, they almost thought that they were blind. It was fine to support, but what the hell was the boss's family? Before they could figure out the key point, Hua Qinhuan had already repeated what his wife said to the three of them. He hid the part about the boss's wife and changed it to the boss's partner. After listening to the story, the three of them looked indifferent. Their boss's tone was just short of telling everyone frankly. The reason why you can get the privilege is that my wife opened the back door for you. My wife is really beautiful and kind. Why don't you hurry up and kowtow to thank her? So what if you have a wife? Just because he had a wife, he could show off his love and abuse single dogs without any scruples. But in fact, having a wife was amazing. Having a beautiful, sensible, and capable wife was even more amazing. Yu Zian silently ridiculed his boss for being crazy in his heart, then turned around and happily ran to the technical department to share this great news with the bitter baldies. When Su Yiyan announced that he would open a physical store to sell medicinal cuisine in City A, these people began to poke at their immediate superior. There were all kinds of explicit hints, and some even rolled around and acted shamelessly, begging him to tell the boss to open a back door for them. Today, however, not only did they open the back door, but they also inexplicably became family members. This group of people suddenly went crazy with joy. Their cheers almost lifted the roof of the company. Each of them could not wait for the arrival of the opening day. Su Yiyan and Hu Chenhuan's wedding would be held in less than a week, so they were in a hurry, but no one wanted to make Su Yiyan feel wronged. The invitations had been sent out as early as a month ago, and other things had been prepared one after another. When Su Yiyan returned home, Qing Shuqin and Qin Shuiru were busy confirming the wedding dress and formal attire that Su Yiyan would wear that day. When they saw that the main character had returned, their eyes lit up. Yan Yan is back. Come over and take a look. The wedding dress and formal attire that we ordered before are all here. Try it on and see if there's anything wrong with it. Take advantage of these few days to ask them to change it. Qin Shuiru was holding a wedding dress in her hand. She got up and walked in the direction of Su Yiyan. Chapter 229. Qin Shuiru quickly noticed Su Yiyan's strange behavior. She frowned and asked with concern, "What's wrong? Did something happen?" Su Yiyan seemed to have woken up from a dream. He said anxiously, "Auntie, can you give me your hand?" Hand? Qin Shuiru was confused, but she did as she was told. Su Yiyan felt her pulse for a while, and the uncertainty in his eyes was gradually replaced by pure excitement. "What's wrong? Yan Yan, why are you grabbing your auntie's hand?" "I'm taking my auntie's pulse." "Taking your pulse?" Qing Shuqin frowned. "What's taking your pulse?" Taking your pulse means checking your body's condition by feeling the pulse on your wrist. Qin Shuiru and Qing Shuqin were shocked when they heard Su Yiyan's words. In this era, most Chinese herbs were extinct. Naturally, Chinese medicine only existed in scientific literature, and very few people knew about it. Hearing Su Yiyan's explanation, the two of them, who were used to using all kinds of advanced medical equipment, were surprised and curious. Before they could ask more, Mr. Su and Qing Juanhao came down with old Master Qing. Seeing the three of them together, he asked curiously, "What are you guys doing?" "Yan Yan is taking Shuiru's pulse." Qing Shuqin asked Su Yiyan subconsciously, "You said that you can know a person's condition by feeling their pulse. What did you find out for your auntie just now?" Su Yiyan chuckled and grinned from ear to ear. "I found a baby." "What baby?" "You're already so old, and you're still." Qing Shuqin's complaint stopped abruptly, and the others were shocked too. Qin Shuiru touched her stomach subconsciously, and her face was full of disbelief. "Yan Yan, you mean?" Su Yiyan went forward and held her hand. He said with certainty, "It's what you think. Auntie is pregnant. Uncle, you're going to be a father." At this moment, Qin Shuiru's mind was completely blank. A pleasant surprise that came too suddenly would always make one afraid. This was just an illusion born from one's obsession. She grabbed Su Yiyan's hand as if she was grabbing onto a life-saving straw. She was unwilling to let go. "Yan Yan, is it true? I'm pregnant. Am I really pregnant?" Qing Shuqin looked at Qin Shuiru, who was so excited that she was about to cry on the spot. At the same time, he felt sorry for her, but he still couldn't believe that Su Yiyan could really feel a baby. If she didn't find out in the end, her sister-in-law would be disappointed to death. "Yan Yan, are you sure you're not mistaken? Your aunt, she..." "There's really no mistake. If you don't believe me, you can go to the hospital for a checkup now. It should be about 3 weeks. We should be able to detect it with the equipment. Yes, yes, yes. Ching Junhao finally reacted and rushed to his wife's side. He pushed Su Yiyan away and hugged Qin Shuiru's hand. He was so excited that he didn't know what to do. Let's go to the hospital. I'll take you to the hospital for a checkup now. Su Yiyan. He didn't want his niece anymore after having a baby. Men were indeed pigs. The two of them who were going to be parents were so happy that they were dizzy. Qing Shuqin and his wife were both expectant and nervous. Chapter 230. It was a joyous occasion for both families that Qin Shuiru was pregnant. No one was willing to wait anxiously at home, so they rushed to the hospital in groups. During this time, young Master Su, who had finally finished his work, returned home to find that there was no warm food, no concerned greetings, and not even a single person at home. He was stunned for a few seconds before he remembered to call his sister. After finding out that Qin Shuiru was pregnant, the whole family rushed to send her to the hospital for a checkup. Unwilling to be left behind, he rushed over as well. The detection equipment in the hospital was much more advanced than that of the 21st century where Wen Jingping lived. One only needed to scan the pregnant woman's stomach to show a 3D image of the baby. There was no need to worry about radiation, so it was very convenient. In less than 2 minutes, Qin Shuiru walked out in Qing Junhao's arms. They crowded around her and asked anxiously, "How is it? How is it? Are you really pregnant?" "Yes, I'm pregnant." After saying these words, Qin Shuiru seemed to have finally returned to reality from a bizarre dream. She grabbed her husband's hand and confirmed again, "I'm pregnant. I'm really pregnant. Yes, we have a child. It's our child." After hearing Qing Junhao's words, Qin Shuiru couldn't hold it in anymore. She hugged his shoulders tightly and burst into tears. Qing Junhao's eyes were also filled with tears. Although he said that he didn't care, who wouldn't want to have a child with the person they loved? When they grew old together and passed away one after another, there would still be one person left in this world to witness their past love. However, between having a child and having a lover, he still cared more about his lover. Now that he realized that he didn't have to make a choice and had the best of both worlds, how could he not be happy? That's great. Qing Shuqin's eyes turned red when she saw the two of them like this. She kept patting her husband's shoulders to express her joy. Mr. Su was speechless. Who exactly did his wife learn to hit people whenever she was happy? Forget it, it was such a joyous occasion. If I get hit, so be it. Grandpa Qing was also very happy. However, when his daughter-in-law was pregnant, the first person he thought of was his precious granddaughter. From the looks of it, the nourishing soup Yan Yan made for you guys all this time wasn't wasted. Hearing this, Qin Shuiru finally woke up from her huge surprise. She threw away her husband's hand, which was tightly holding onto Su Yiyan's. Yes, yes, yes. It's all thanks to Yan Yan. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Qing Junhao, who was thrown away after being used by his wife. Wasn't this the legendary karma? No one knew the condition of her body better than Qin Shuiru. Since 5 years ago, a doctor had tactfully told her that it would be difficult for her to conceive a child with her body condition. In the past few years, as she grew older, this difficulty had been increasing. She did not expect that she would be pregnant in less than a month after arriving at the Su family. Her father-in-law and husband had sent her to the Su family to recuperate in advance. It was the best decision they had made in their lives. We're family, why are you being so courteous? I've always been the youngest in the family, and I've always wanted a younger brother or sister. Now that you're finally pregnant, I should thank you for fulfilling my wish. Chapter 231. After being comforted by the two of them, Qin Shuiru finally regained control of her emotions. She reached out to touch her stomach, which was still unnoticeable. Although she didn't have any real feelings for this huge surprise, she knew that there was a little life living inside, a little life that she had always dreamed of. Seeing that he was about to become invisible before the child was born, Qing Juanhao silently tugged at his wife's sleeve and said aggrievedly, "Yan Yan took all the credit, but I also contributed a little." His expression almost said, "Without me, you wouldn't have been able to give birth to the baby. Even if I didn't contribute, I still worked hard. Don't ignore me like this." Qin Shuiru. She did not want her husband anymore. Whoever wanted him could take him away. The others were also a little confused by Qing Juanhao's actions. After a while, Qing Shuqin finally reacted and scolded with a smile, "Useless." Su Yiyan could not help but gloat. It turned out that it was not only love that would lower one's intelligence, but parents would as well. Qin Shuiru was already considered to be in the advanced stages of pregnancy at her age. The others did not dare to let their guard down and gave her a full body checkup so that she could be nursed back to health. Su Yiyan had already nourished Qin Shuiru with everything that he could during this period of time. Knowing that there was nothing wrong with her body, he did not stop them and followed them around the hospital. Halfway through the checkup, Su Yiyan's phone suddenly rang. Su Yiyan was surprised when he saw the caller ID. Taking advantage of the fact that everyone's attention was on Qin Shuiru, he turned to a small corner and picked up the call. "What's wrong? I heard that you and Uncle went to the hospital. Did something happen?" Su Yiyan could hear the nervousness in Hua Qinhuan's voice. He smiled and said, "Don't be nervous. It's a good thing. My aunt is pregnant." Hua Qinhuan was slightly stunned. He had heard about Su Yiyan's aunt, but he did not expect her to suddenly be pregnant. "It's a good thing. Congratulate her on my behalf." "Yes." Qin Shuiru's matter had undoubtedly reassured her, making her even more certain that she would be able to do what she had always wanted to do. "My aunt suddenly became pregnant after so many years because of me." Hua Qinhuan's eyes flashed as she replied softly, "Yes, I know. I can help her nurse her body back to health and conceive a child. One day, I can help you stand up again." Hua Qinhuan was stunned. The smile in her eyes slowly spread because of Su Yiyan's words. Finally, she said, "Okay, I'll wait." After a round of inspection, nothing happened. Everyone couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. On the way back, Qing Juanhao even brought a tester home so that they could monitor the baby's condition at any time. Looking at the test report, "It's fine, but you're not young anymore. You still have to be more careful. Especially in the first few months, you have to be even more careful." Qin Shuiru knew all this and replied softly, "Yes. I've just discussed with Juanhao. You'll stay here for the next few months and let Yan Yan help you recuperate." Qin Shuiru almost treated Su Yiyan as her little savior. Naturally, she hoped that she could stay, but Yan Yan will be married in a few days. Even if he's married, won't he return home? The moment Qing Shuqin said this, everyone's eyes focused on Su Yiyan. Chapter 232. Ahem, I'll definitely go back home. Even if I don't go back every day, I'll stay in the same city. It'll be more convenient than staying in my hometown. Qing Shuqin snorted. Although he wasn't particularly satisfied with this answer, he didn't continue on this topic. Yan Yan is right. Isn't she going to open a medicinal cuisine restaurant soon? When the time comes, I'll ask her to send some home for you to nourish your body. It won't be difficult. Qing Shuqin's words reminded Qing Juanhao that before leaving the hospital, Qin Shuiru had mentioned to him the effects of the soup that Su Yiyan had made for them in the past month. Qing Juanhao was extremely skeptical about this, but it was certain that his wife was pregnant. Could it be that his niece's medicinal cuisine was really that effective? My mom is right. Auntie, you should stay at home and wait until the baby is stable. Qing Juanhao was also worried about Qin Shuiru's health. He frowned slightly and advised, since sister said so, you should stay for a while longer. I've also invested in Yan Yan's restaurant. Just treat it as helping me recoup some of my capital. Don't let me suffer a loss. Su Yiyan was both angry and amused when she heard this. Uncle, so that's what you're planning. Then it's over. If you want Auntie to recoup her capital, I'm afraid she'll have to recoup it for the rest of her life. Then help me raise your auntie for the rest of your life. While you're at it, you can raise your unborn brother and sister as well. Before Su Yiyan could say anything, Qing Shiqin had already slapped her. You wish. You can raise your own child. The car burst into laughter. After returning home, Qing Shiqin held Qin Shuiru's arm and walked in front. Qing Juanhao deliberately lagged behind them and walked side by side with Su Yiyan. Yan Yan, can the food you made for us really increase a person's chances of getting pregnant? Your auntie and my baby. Su Yiyan knew what he wanted to ask. The corners of his lips curled up slightly, and he deliberately said mysteriously, if you think so, then so be it. If not, then so be it. The corners of Qing Juanhao's eyes twitched. He seriously suspected that she was still holding a grudge over what he had said just now. I think so. That's why I want to continue asking. What are the medicinal cuisines in your restaurant for? It's quite broad. Menstrual pain, baldness, insomnia, anorexia, and even Aunt's condition can be cured. Qing Juanhao's eyes lit up. Really? Believe it or not, it's up to you. Su Yiyan rolled her eyes, snorted arrogantly, and turned to leave, but was caught by Qing Juanhao. I do. I'm just a little surprised. When did you learn how to treat patients? It was still acceptable for him to learn how to cook from a cookbook, but could it be that he had also read the book to cure the disease? Not to mention, he had never even heard of her method of treating people. If you can learn how to cook from books, you can also learn how to treat illnesses. But now that you mention it, I do remember it. Uncle, can you help me get a proper doctor's license? After all, the medicinal cuisine restaurant was different from ordinary restaurants. She had already applied for a catering license. If she really wanted to treat some people in the future, without a doctor's license, she was afraid that she would get into some trouble. Su Yiyan's idea might seem like a groundless worry to others, but not long after, these people would realize that she was preparing for a rainy day. Chapter 233. This was not Wang Ran's first time doing a live broadcast in a physical restaurant. However, there were many rules in high-class restaurants, and most of them were unwilling to let anyone in for a live broadcast. He had been blocked at the door a few times. This time, he wanted to give it a try. As soon as he reached the door, he heard a low voice call out, "Sir." Wang Ran was shocked. He subconsciously tightened his grip on the live broadcast equipment in his hands and looked at the waiter who was walking toward him. Don't allow people to bring live broadcast equipment in." The waiter was stunned when he heard him say that. He smiled and said, "We don't have such rules, but there are many people in the restaurant. I hope you can take care of your valuables after you enter. Also, try not to disturb other customers." The waiter's decent and polite attitude was somewhat amiable, which made it easy for people to have a good impression of him. Wang Ran and the audience in the live broadcast room were prepared to be blocked at the door and not be allowed to enter. When they heard his words, they could not react for a while. The service in this restaurant is good. It's not like the previous high-class restaurants where the waiter's eyes are almost on top of his head. It's fine if you don't let him in. Why do you look down on him and have such a bad attitude? It's also possible that they just opened not long ago and are relying on this to attract customers. After a long time, they might become like those high-class restaurants. However, this attitude is really good. I hope they can keep it up. He, doesn't anyone think that this waiter is quite handsome? Can the blogger help me get his contact information? Is it okay to openly climb the wall in front of the blogger? Although I really want to say that, this waiter's looks are really a little too good. I can do it. Elder sister can do it, younger sister can do it too. Me too. In just a short while, Wang Ran had witnessed his good-looking fans climbing the wall in his live broadcast room. The corners of his mouth twitched slightly. He did not know whether to laugh or cry. Okay, I'll be careful. The waiter seemed to be unaware of the rows of comments on the live broadcast room's equipment. He still maintained a decent smile on his face and said, "Okay then, please do a full body scan. After the scan, our store manager will give you a physical report and recommended medicinal cuisine. Please inform the customers in advance that our restaurant does not support self-service. Everything will be based on the results given by the store manager." I know about that. Before coming here, Wang Ran had seen the recording of Su Yiyen's live broadcast and knew about it. But knowing was one thing. When he really met him, he couldn't help but sigh. This boss's personality was really strange. Wasn't he afraid that no one would be willing to come? After cooperating with the waiter for a full body scan, Wang Ran was led to a relatively secluded corner of the store. As soon as he entered the shop, he and the viewers in his live stream channel were attracted by the luxurious decorations in the shop. The interior decoration of the restaurant was based on ancient gardens, courtyards, inns, and pavilions. The two-story storefront was connected by a wooden staircase, engraved with many patterns that they had never seen before. The ceiling was completely hollow and carved with all kinds of rare animals, plants, flowers, and birds. Chapter 234. This was not Wang Ran's first time doing a live broadcast in a physical restaurant. However, there were many rules in high-end restaurants, and most of them were not willing to let anyone in for a live broadcast. He had been blocked at the door a few times, and this time, he wanted to give it a try. Just as he walked to the door, he heard a low voice call out to him, "Sir." Wang Ran was shocked. He subconsciously tightened his grip on the live broadcast equipment in his hands and looked at the waiter who was walking toward him. "You guys, don't allow people to bring in live broadcast equipment." The waiter was stunned when he heard him say that. He smiled and said, "We don't have such rules, but there are many people in the restaurant. I hope you can take care of your valuables after you enter. Also, try not to disturb other customers." The waiter's decent and polite attitude was somewhat amiable, making it easy for people to have a good impression of him. Wang Ran and the audience in the live broadcast room were prepared to be blocked at the door and not be allowed to enter. When they heard his words, they could not react for a while. The service in this restaurant is good, unlike the previous high-end restaurants where the waiter's eyes almost grew on top of his head. If you don't let him in, then so be it. Why do you look down on him and have such a bad attitude? It's also possible that they just opened not long ago and are relying on this to attract customers. After a while, they might become like those high-end restaurants. However, this attitude is really good. I hope they can keep it up. He, doesn't anyone think that this waiter is quite handsome? Can the blogger help me get his contact information? Is it okay to openly climb the wall in front of the blogger? Although I really want to say that, this waiter's looks are really a little too good. I can do it. Elder sister can do it, younger sister can do it too. Me too. In just a short while, Wang Ran had witnessed his good-looking fans climbing the wall in his live broadcast room. The corners of his mouth twitched slightly, and he did not know whether to laugh or cry. Okay. Okay, I'll be careful. The waiter seemed to be unaware of the rows of comments on the live broadcast equipment. He still maintained a decent smile on his face and said, "Okay then, please do a full body scan. After the scan, our store manager will give you a physical report and recommended medicinal cuisine. Please inform the customers in advance that our restaurant does not support self-service. Everything will be based on the result given by the store manager." I know about that. Before coming here, Wang Ran had seen the recording of Su Yiyan's live broadcast and knew about it. But knowing was one thing. When he really met him, he couldn't help but sigh. This boss's personality was really strange. Wasn't he afraid that no one would be willing to come? After cooperating with the waiter for a full body scan, Wang Ran was led to a relatively secluded corner of the store. As soon as he entered the shop, he and the viewers in his live stream channel were attracted by the luxurious decorations in the shop. The interior decoration of the restaurant was based on ancient gardens, courtyards, inns, and pavilions. The two-story storefront was connected by a wooden staircase, engraved with many patterns that they had never seen before. The ceiling was completely hollow and carved with all kinds of rare animals, plants, flowers, and birds. Chapter 235. At that time, the restaurant was already full of people. Sitting behind Wang Ran was a pair of grandfather and granddaughter. The grandfather was complaining to his granddaughter that the restaurant didn't allow him to order and sold the food at such an expensive price. His granddaughter should be a viewer of Su Yiyan's live broadcast room. She brought her grandfather here to see if these so-called medicinal cuisines were really good for the human body and if they could help cure her grandfather's rheumatism. "Grandpa, don't be angry. This restaurant is opened by a streamer I like very much. I've tried her dishes on the internet. They are very delicious and have the effect of strengthening the body. Many lucky viewers who were chosen by her in the lucky draw said that it was really effective." The girl saw that her grandfather's expression was still not good. She hurriedly held his hand and said coquettishly, "Let's try it once. If it doesn't taste good, we won't come again. You saw it just now. They could tell that you have old cold leg at the first sight. Maybe it really works." The old man's expression eased a little. He snorted and said, "You're just a child. You only know how to look at this and that on the internet all day long. You could tell that I have old cold leg at the first sight. The scanner in the hospital can also tell the condition with a scan. It can only give some conservative methods. If it's going to relapse, it will still relapse. This kind of trick can only fool a little girl like you who doesn't know anything." The old man's old cold leg was also quite old. It was the root of the disease when he was young. The older he got, the more uncomfortable he felt. Especially on rainy days, he was so upset that he couldn't sleep. The hospital had a way to alleviate it, but unfortunately, it didn't treat the symptoms. It was fine this time, but it would happen again on rainy days. Okay. Just take it that I was cheated. The food in this restaurant isn't that magical, but the taste is definitely good. Let's just take it that we occasionally come out to improve the food. Don't be angry." The old man also knew that his granddaughter was concerned about his health. He snorted and didn't say anything. After about 20 minutes, the two's food arrived. There was hot ginger glutinous rice porridge, fragrant braised eel, and a pot of gastrodia duck soup. As soon as the dishes were opened, the smell drifted uncontrollably in all directions. Wang Ran, who hadn't been served yet, unconsciously swallowed his saliva. Not to mention the grandfather and granddaughter sitting at the table. "See, Grandpa, I didn't lie to you. It really smells good." The old man was obviously tempted by the smell, but he still kept a straight face and said proudly, "It's so expensive, but you can't order it. If the taste is not good, you're not afraid of people smashing the store." The waiter on the side was not annoyed when he heard that. He smiled faintly and said, "There is still a black chicken wine stewing on the stove. The store manager instructed us to pack it for you before the guests leave. After you go back, drink it according to the instructions for a period of time. It will be effective." The girl's eyes lit up and she quickly said, "Thank you, manager. I will make sure my grandpa drinks well." After the waiter finished his task, he left leisurely. The grandfather and grandson pair also couldn't wait to start eating. Coincidentally, Wang Ran's medicinal cuisine arrived at the same time. Different dishes had different tastes, but they were all equally fragrant. Wang Ran was not pretentious. He picked up a piece of potato with his chopsticks and put it into his mouth. Ah, how fragrant! The same thing happened in every corner of the shop. People who were curious or doubtful at first were all satisfied after eating the real thing. Chapter 236. At that time, the restaurant was already full of people. Sitting behind Wang Ran was a pair of grandfather and granddaughter. The grandfather was complaining to his granddaughter that the restaurant didn't allow him to order and sold the food at such an expensive price. His granddaughter should be a viewer of Su Yiyen's live broadcast room. She brought her grandfather here to see if these so-called medicinal cuisines were really good for the human body and if they could help cure her grandfather's rheumatism. "Grandpa, don't be angry. This restaurant is opened by a streamer I like very much. I've tried her dishes on the internet. They are very delicious and have the effect of strengthening the body. Many lucky viewers who were chosen by her in the lucky draw said that it was really effective." The girl saw that her grandfather's expression was still not good. She hurriedly held his hand and said coquettishly, "Let's try it once. If it doesn't taste good, we won't come again. You saw it just now. They could tell that you have old cold leg at the first sight. Maybe it really works." The old man's expression became slightly better. He snorted and said, "You're just a child. You only know how to watch this and that on the internet all day long. They could tell that I have old cold leg at the first sight. The scanner in the hospital can also tell the condition with a scan. It can only give some conservative methods. If it's going to relapse, it will still relapse. This kind of trick can only deceive a little girl like you who doesn't know anything." The old man's old cold leg was also quite old. It was a disease left behind when he was young. The older he got, the more uncomfortable he felt. Especially on rainy days, he was so upset that he couldn't sleep. The hospital had a way to alleviate it, but unfortunately, it didn't treat the symptoms. It was fine this time, but it would happen again on rainy days. Okay. Just take it that I was deceived. The food in this restaurant isn't that magical, but the taste is definitely good. Let's just take it that we occasionally come out to improve the food. Don't be angry." The old man also knew that his granddaughter was concerned about his health. He snorted and didn't say anything. After about 20 minutes, the two's food arrived. There was hot ginger glutinous rice porridge, fragrant braised eel, and a pot of gastrodia duck soup. As soon as they opened the lid, the smell drifted uncontrollably in all directions. Wang Ran, who hadn't been served yet, unconsciously swallowed his saliva. Not to mention the grandfather and granddaughter sitting at the table. "See, Grandpa, I didn't lie to you. It really smells good." The old man was obviously tempted by the smell, but he still kept a straight face and said proudly, "It's so expensive, but you can't order it. If the taste is not good, you're not afraid of people smashing the store." The waiter on the side was not annoyed when he heard that. He smiled faintly and said, "There is still a black chicken wine stewing on the stove. The store manager instructed us to pack it for you before the guests leave. After you go back, drink it according to the instructions for a period of time. It will be effective." The girl's eyes lit up and she quickly said, "Thank you, manager. I will make sure my grandpa drinks well." The waiter left leisurely after completing his task. Grandfather and grandson couldn't wait to start eating. Coincidentally, Wang Ran's medicinal cuisine arrived at the same time. Different dishes had different tastes, but they were all equally fragrant. Wang Ran was not pretentious. He picked up a piece of potato with his chopsticks and put it into his mouth. Ah, how fragrant! The same thing happened in every corner of the shop. People who were curious or doubtful at first were all satisfied after eating the real thing. Chapter 237. Yan Yan, let me introduce you. This is Uncle Fan and Auntie Jiao that I mentioned to you before. Cheng Juanhao led them into the house and introduced Su Yiyan to them. Old Fan, sister-in-law, this is my niece. Cheng Juanhao had told them that his niece was young, but when they saw Su Yiyan, they still felt that the person in front of them was different from what they had imagined. Su Yiyan knew what they were thinking when she saw their eyes, but she didn't care. She smiled and said, "Hello, Uncle and Auntie. You're my uncle's friends. If you don't mind, you can call me Yan Yan." Okay. Su Yiyan took the initiative to speak, and it made the two of them relax a little. They deliberated and said, "I heard from your uncle that Shuiru was able to get pregnant thanks to you. We're here today to ask if the two of us can also. I know. Uncle mentioned it to me before. There are many reasons why people can't get pregnant. I can't be sure if it can be cured before I see the person. Then now, sit down first." Su Yiyan gestured for them to sit down, then said to Fan Weiming, "Uncle Fan, let me take your hand." Hand. Cheng Juanhao reacted quickly and hurriedly said, "Give her your hand." Previously, Yan Yan had pinched Shui Ru's pulse and knew that she was pregnant. Fan Weiming and his wife were stunned. They looked at each other and reached out their hands subconsciously. Su Yiyan felt his pulse and thought for about 20 seconds. She turned to Gu Jiamei and said, "Auntie, come here." Gu Jiamei hurriedly reached out her hand and looked at Su Yiyan for a while. She couldn't help but ask, "How is it?" Su Yiyan took back her hand and smiled. "Your situation is different from Uncle and Auntie's. They're mainly my auntie's problem. As for the two of you, it's mainly the man's problem." Fan Weiming was taken aback. He wasn't surprised by Su Yiyan's conclusion. He was surprised that she was able to identify their problem just by feeling their pulse. Was it a coincidence, or did someone tell her in advance? Cheng Juanhao could tell what Fan Weiming was thinking at a glance. His face darkened and he was a little unhappy. He had brought them here to see his niece out of kindness, but these two actually suspected that he had ulterior motives. It was really a case of a dog biting Lu Dongbin, not recognizing the kindness of others. Su Yiyan, on the other hand, did not feel anything. She was a newbie who had just stepped into the door of traditional Chinese medicine. It was normal for patients to have doubts. What exactly is the problem? As for you, Uncle Fan, you have hypospermia and no spermatozoa. It's just that you have less sperm and lower sperm activity. It just so happens that Aunt Gu has a cold constitution, so it's not easy for her to get pregnant. It would be a miracle if two people who had problems conceiving a child were to bump into each other and actually give birth to a child. Fan Weiming and his wife's expressions changed slightly. Su Yiyan could see that the man's problem was more serious. They could say that it was Cheng Juanhao who told them. After all, the reason why they got together was because they couldn't have children. When they chatted before, they would occasionally talk about each other's conditions and reveal some things. However, they had never talked about their specific conditions. They had only vaguely mentioned it once. It was mainly the man's problem. Chapter 238. It can be cured, but the process is more troublesome and may take a long time. In addition, you are older, so I can't guarantee the final result. When Fan Weiming heard Su Yiyan say that it could be cured, he became more excited. It doesn't matter. As long as it can be cured, no matter how troublesome it is, we are willing to cooperate. As long as it works, even if it is only 1 in 10,000, we want to try. Gu Jiamei also echoed, yes, as long as there is hope, we will absolutely cooperate unconditionally. These people gathered together because they were in the same boat. Secondly, their family backgrounds were similar, and their temperament and character were relatively good. They had deep feelings for each other. Even if they did not have children, they were not willing to separate and have a child with another man or woman. But it was precisely because of their deep feelings that they wanted to have a bloodline that belonged to each other. For so many years, watching their relatives, friends, and even their juniors have lovely children one after another, the two of them were envious and sad. They thought that it might be like this for the rest of their lives. Who would have thought that there would be a sudden turn for the better? How could they not be excited? Well, since you all said so, then I will treat you with ease. Aunt Gu's side is relatively simple. The main problem is that her womb is cold. She needs to eat more medicated diet to nourish her body. Otherwise, even if she is pregnant in the future, it is easy to have a miscarriage or a miscarriage. Gu Jiamei's face turned pale when she heard this, and she subconsciously held her husband's hand. Her husband held her hand back and patted the back of her hand to comfort her. As for Uncle Fan, medicated diet alone is not enough. It has to be combined with acupuncture. Acupuncture. Su Yiyan smiled slightly and calmly took out the acupuncture bag that he carried with him. When they saw it, their faces changed on the spot. Gu Jiamei's face was even paler, and she asked with difficulty, such a long needle, is it going to be inserted into old Fan's body? It is going to be inserted into his body, but don't be nervous. This needle is inserted into the human body's acupuncture points. My hands are steady, so it won't cause harm to Uncle Fan's body. Su Yiyan did not dare to say this half a month ago. Recently, he had inserted more needles into Ning Qirui's body, so he felt that his hands were much steadier and more confident. Young Master Ning, who had been pricked several times in just half a month. Can you not speak so righteously about using me as a test subject? But Gu Jiamei was still worried. She wanted to say something, but her husband stopped her. Since Yan Yan said so, he must be confident. Let's give it a try and trust her. Gu Jiamei opened her mouth but didn't say anything in the end. By the time the two of them finished discussing, Su Yiyan was almost done with her preparations. As the saying goes, unfamiliar the first time, familiar the second time. Today's Su Yiyan was no longer the novice from half a month ago who could stab a needle until it bled. His actions were steady and fast. In the blink of an eye, needles were inserted into the Mingmen, Xinyu, Shinkei, Sanyinjiu, and other acupoints. The two onlookers watched with pale faces. Gu Jiamei, in particular, wanted to say something several times, but she was afraid that her words would disturb Su Yiyan and hurt her husband instead. The complicated acupuncture and moxibustion treatment took about an hour, but in the eyes of the people in the room, it felt like a few years. Chapter 239. Okay, you'll be able to get up after a while. As soon as Su Yiyan said this, Gu Jiamei immediately rushed to her husband and asked anxiously and worriedly, "How are you? Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere?" Fan Weiming's expression was a little subtle. "I don't feel uncomfortable, but I feel a little hot." It's normal to feel hot. By the way, based on your current situation, it will take at least half a year. Drink less during this time. It's best if you don't drink at all. Fan Weiming was slightly startled and hurriedly said, I haven't drunk in a long time. Although the culinary skills of the people in this era had regressed a lot, the wine culture was unexpectedly passed down. It was still a great weapon when socializing. Fan Weiming loved wine when he was young. In addition, he started from scratch at that time, so he had to drink with his clients at work. When he was older and wanted to have a child, he was told that he suffered from sperm deficiency, which was what Su Yiyan just said. It was not easy to have a child. And a certain factor in this disease was drinking too much. Fan Weiming regretted it and hadn't touched wine since then, until now. Keep it up. In addition, cough cough, you too can't have sex for half a year. Even if you really can't help it, remember to wear condoms. As soon as Su Yiyan said this, both of them blushed. It's only half a year. We're not that impatient. Su Yiyan smiled. Logically speaking, you two are husband and wife. It's natural for you to do this kind of thing. But as half a doctor, I have the obligation to tell you these taboos. As soon as Su Yiyan said this, the two of them blushed again. Qing Juanhao was also a little surprised. He looked at his niece who was smiling innocently and realized for the first time that his well-behaved little girl had such a little devil side. After Su Yiyan finished instructing the two of them, she was just about to put away the things on the table when she looked up and saw Gu Jiamei's slightly pale face. She then looked at her hand that was subconsciously covering her stomach. Su Yiyan's eyes flashed and she took the initiative to ask, Aunt Gu, is your stomach hurting? Gu Jiamei was stunned. She didn't expect Su Yiyan to notice her. After a moment of silence, he said embarrassedly, it's an old problem. It hurts for a few days every month. It's okay. Su Yiyan's eyes flashed with a hint of understanding. Women with cold wombs would indeed have more severe menstrual cramps than ordinary women. Fan Weiming tightened his grip on his wife's hand, his eyes full of heartache. He knew that his wife would feel unwell for a few days every month. Before he came this time, he was a little hesitant. He wanted to wait for her to feel better before coming. However, Gu Jiamei couldn't wait any longer and insisted on coming over to take a look. Is sister-in-law having menstrual cramps? Qing Juanhao frowned as he overheard their conversation. I remember that Yanyan's restaurant has medicinal cuisine for this. After Fan Weiming and his wife heard his reminder, they suddenly raised their heads to look at Su Yiyan, their eyes filled with anticipation. We do, but there are too many people in front of us right now, so I'm afraid we can't make it for you right away. Even if we can make it now, it will take at least an hour. The light in Gu Jiamei's eyes gradually dimmed because of Su Yiyan's words. Unexpectedly, she heard Su Yiyan say, but it's not like there's no other way. If Aunt Gu doesn't mind, I can give you a needle. I promise that it'll take effect immediately. Su Yiyan blinked innocently and shook the long needle in front of her. Chapter 240. Gu Jiamei looked at the needle and refused in her heart. However, her stomach was so uncomfortable that she finally chose to compromise. Really? Really, it doesn't hurt. Gu Jiamei held her husband's hand tightly and looked nervous. It doesn't hurt. It really doesn't hurt. If you're afraid, just lean on my shoulder. I'll block it for you. You won't be afraid if you don't look. Fan Weiming said as he reached out to hold his wife's head and pressed her on his shoulder to prevent her from looking down. Su Yiyan looked at them as if they were facing a great enemy. Her heart did not waver, and she even wanted to laugh. To effectively suppress menstrual pain, the Sanyinjiao acupoint needed to be taken. This acupoint was 3 inches above the tip of the inner ankle and was located at the back of the tibia. Most people needed to use 4 fingers to measure the acupoint, but Su Yiyan could see it at a glance. The moment Gu Jiamei turned her head, she inserted the needle. After the needle was inserted, the strong stimulation twisted for a few seconds, and Gu Jiamei's tense nerves slowly relaxed. How is it? Do you still feel uncomfortable? Gu Jiamei subconsciously touched her abdomen. It seems. It doesn't hurt as much. Su Yiyan inserted the needle twice more. A few minutes later, when the needle was removed, Gu Jiamei's face was not as pale as before. It really doesn't hurt. It really doesn't hurt. Gu Jiamei looked at Su Yiyan with eager eyes again. Su Yiyan had pricked two people before, one was Ning Qiruei and the other was Fan Weiming. Both of them were the type of people who needed to lengthen the trench and prick for a few sessions to see the effect. Without accurate instrument detection, no changes could be seen in a short time. Gu Jiamei's ability to cause an immediate effect with just one injection was a little tricky, but it was enough to surprise those who were originally skeptical of her. Looking at someone's eager eyes, Su Yiyan touched her nose and smiled faintly. It's only temporary. You still have to take the medicated diet. I'll give the prescription to the kitchen later. You have to take both of them for a few days to see the effect. Later, I'll adjust the prescription and dose appropriately with acupuncture. I have a lot of things to do here, so you have to pay attention and eat on time. Okay. We'll definitely follow your instructions and cooperate with you wholeheartedly. The way Gu Jiamei looked at Su Yiyan had completely changed. She had a premonition that the person in front of her might really be the turning point for her and her husband. After sending the two of them off, Su Yiyan heaved a sigh of relief. He pulled up the surveillance camera in the store and took a look. After Qing Juanhao brought the two out to order, he turned back and looked at Su Yiyan with sparkling eyes. Seeing him return, Su Yiyan was surprised. Jojo, why are you back? Don't we need to call Uncle Fan and the others? There's no need for that. They're too busy reporting the treatment results to the other patients in our group. They don't have time for me. Su Yiyan was speechless. Feedback on the treatment results. She felt that there would be more and more people who wanted children coming to her in the future. Was she forced to walk the path of giving away children? Qing Juanhao paused and said hesitantly, Yan, does it really not hurt when you put the needle in? Su Yiyan looked at him suspiciously. Why are you asking this? I just want to ask. My stomach hasn't been feeling well recently. Can this relieve it? Su Yiyan was speechless. Seeing that she didn't speak, Qing Juanhao asked tentatively, Can't I? Yes. Then, I'll do it for you right away. Chapter 241. On the first day of the new store's opening, there were many people who came to try out the fresh food, poison testing. There were even more people who came to look for the streamer with the intention of eating. Lan Jiaye was one of them. As the first lucky viewer of Su Yiyan's live stream, he had no doubts about the medicinal cuisine in the restaurant. This time, he came over excitedly. Eating was just a convenience. He wanted to take this opportunity to meet the streamer. However, he was destined to be disappointed. Lan Jiaye didn't hurry to sit down after entering. Instead, he wandered around, trying to find the store manager. The staff in the store had been paying attention to this strange customer who had asked them where the store manager was as soon as he entered the store. Seeing that he didn't sit properly after entering the store and was wandering around, they had already thought that he was here to cause trouble. When he wandered around for the third time, he finally couldn't help but ask, Sir, are you looking for something? Do you need help? Lan Jiaye wasn't stupid. How could he not see that these employees were guarding against him? He touched his nose guiltily and said awkwardly, No. Nothing. I'm just walking around. Okay. Because the store is a little busy right now, there are a lot of people. In order to not affect your dining experience, I hope you can find a place to sit down as soon as possible. Our employees will serve you as soon as possible. Although the employee said this politely, he was implicitly reminding Lan Jiaye to find a place to sit down. If he continued to wander around, they might have to take some measures. Although Lan Jiaye wanted to find someone, he didn't want to have a conflict with the employees in the store. Thinking of the streamer's swift and decisive action of checking your IP address and banning your entire family, Lan Jiaye didn't dare to wander around anymore. He quickly found a place to sit down and was as quiet as a chicken. At this time, the store was already full. The desperate bald and naughty parties took up almost half of the seats in the store. Lan Jiaye searched for a long time before he finally found an empty seat in a small corner near the second floor. "Miss, you see that there are no other seats in the store. Is it convenient for you to set up a table together?" Lan Jiaye felt a little embarrassed after saying this. Why did it sound like he was chatting up a girl? Su Yiyan was bored of being alone in the house, so she came out to take a breather and drink tea. She didn't expect someone to run over to talk to her. She raised her head and looked at Lan Jiaye in confusion. The waiter who came with Lan Jiaye was shocked. "Sir, you, have a seat." Su Yiyan gave the waiter a look and did not reject Lan Jiaye's suggestion to set up a table. The waiter reacted quickly. He coughed lightly and said, "Sir, this is the medicinal cuisine that the manager has ordered for you. Please confirm." Lan Jiaye had almost blind trust in this shop. He confirmed the order without hesitation and paid for it. After sending the waiter away, he started a conversation with Su Yiyan as if they were close friends. "Miss, are you also a viewer of the streamer's live streaming room?" Su Yiyan raised an eyebrow. "Audience? Aren't you?" Su Yiyan shook her head. She was not a spectator, but a streamer. Lan Jiaye looked disappointed. "Then why are you here?" "This shop is newly opened. The decorations are beautiful and the menu is special, so I came in to take a look." "Why? Can't I eat here if I'm not a viewer of your live streaming room?" Chapter 242. Su Yiyan lowered her head and sipped her rose tea. She asked casually, "Why do you think so? Are there a lot of people in your live stream room?" "Yes, of course. You don't know how amazing the streamer, who is also the manager of this shop, is. She is the kindest and most gentle person in the world. She selflessly donated the seeds to the research institute so that they can grow them in large quantities to serve the public. She also often holds lucky draws in her live stream room and gives away her medicinal cuisine to the lucky viewers. She even opened this shop because she considered the difficult illnesses of the viewers in her live stream room." Lan Jiaye almost immediately became a fanboy at the mention of the streamer he admired the most. He immediately praised Su Yiyan for a few minutes. Su Yiyan's expression changed from curiosity to embarrassment. She knew that she wasn't as great as Lan Jiaye made her out to be. Her original intention of starting a live stream was to increase her favorability and to use her skill points to treat Hu Chenhuan's leg. Later, she chose to give the seeds to the research institute for two reasons. First, she wanted to seek protection for herself and her family. Second, she felt that it was cute and warm for the viewers to work hard to protect someone they had never met. Later, when she decided to open this shop, it might have been because she and Hu Chenhuan had suffered a lot of malice from this world in her previous life. In this life, when she felt the kindness of others, her heart would unconsciously soften and she would want to do something for them and for herself. Even so, whether it was the seeds or the shop, she was paid for it. She didn't feel that what she did was worthy of gratitude. Lan Jiaye lowered his head to look at the menu on the table. He smiled and said, "I've looked through it carefully. Although the price of the medicinal cuisine here is slightly higher than that of a high-class restaurant, this amount of money is negligible compared to the value of the medicinal cuisine itself. The streamer could have sold it directly to those rich people who are troubled by illness or auctioned it at a high price online. But she didn't do that. She's really a very, very good person. Lan Jiaye was like a true fan who chased after a celebrity. He tried his best to tell everyone he met that his idol was the best in the world. Little did he know that the person sitting in front of him now was his idol. Su Yiyan coughed awkwardly and tried to change the topic. So, you came here today to have a meal or to look for someone? I'm looking for someone and eating while I'm at it. But I've been looking for a long time and I still can't find the streamer. This doesn't make sense. Su Yiyan looked at his sorrowful expression, as if he had missed out on the whole world, and said meaningfully, "How can you be so sure that she will be in the shop today? Today is the first day of the new store's opening. As the store manager, the streamer will definitely show up. Furthermore." "And what? Don't you see the flowers in front of the shop and on the street?" Su Yiyan was slightly startled. She did not understand how this had anything to do with those flowers outside. What happened to those flowers? Lan Jiaye looked around. After making sure that no one was paying attention to them, he sneaked up to Su Yiyan and said, "When I came in, I asked the waiter. I heard that the flowers outside were sent by the host's fiancé." Su Yiyan blushed when she heard that. "So what? This means that the streamer has a very good relationship with her fiancé. It's very sweet. So she will definitely come today." Chapter 243. Su Yiyan was stunned by Lan Jiaye's twisted brain circuit and his illogical yet righteous intuition. After a while, she laughed and said, "You're in such a hurry to find her. Do you have something to say to her?" "Not really. I just want to thank her in person." "Thank her?" Su Yiyan frowned. "Thank her for what?" "Thank her for giving me the medicinal cuisine and a lot of hawthorn. With these things, my grandmother's appetite improved a lot. Our family is very grateful to her." "Hawthorn? You are?" Su Yiyan was stunned for a moment, but she quickly remembered who the person in front of her was. She had only given her hawthorn to one person, and that was the person who had asked her for the medicinal cuisine during her first live stream. After that, he had asked for hawthorn from her. "So what if I don't like you?" Looking at his ID, she had thought that he was a particularly unconventional teenager. She didn't expect him to be so good-looking in person. He was just a little too familiar. Lan Jiaye saw that Su Yiyan was only halfway through her sentence and blinked curiously. "What is it?" "Nothing." Lan Jiaye didn't suspect anything inside. "I'm also curious about what she looks like. I want to meet her." Su Yiyan sipped her tea and said calmly, "You don't know what she looks like. The host hasn't shown her face during her live stream. Have you ever thought that she doesn't show her face because she doesn't want to be disturbed? She doesn't want people to know what she looks like." Lan Jiaye's expression stiffened, as if he had just thought of this possibility. Su Yiyan drank her tea while watching him scratch his ears and cheeks in confusion. Her eyes were full of smiles. At this moment, Su Yiyan suddenly saw a familiar figure from the corner of her eye and stood up. Lan Jiaye was shocked by her action and looked up at her in confusion. "What's wrong?" "Nothing. Take a seat. I'll leave the meeting first." She didn't wait for Lan Jiaye to react and quickly got up to leave. "Why are you here?" Su Yiyan looked at Hu Chenhuan, who suddenly appeared at the entrance of the restaurant. She was pleasantly surprised. Hu Chenhuan did not answer. Instead, she asked, "Am I not welcome?" "Of course not." Su Yiyan looked at Hu Chenhuan with some heartache. "You don't like to go out, especially to such a lively place." That was in the past. Hu Chenhuan took the initiative to hold Su Yiyan's hand. I didn't like to go out in the past because there was no one to accompany me. I don't like to go to crowded places because I don't like the way people look at me. I feel like I don't fit in with the crowd. Hu Chenhuan paused for a moment, a rare smile appearing on her usually serious face. But now, I have you. You will accompany me. It made me feel like I could also be a part of the fun. Su Yiyan's heart trembled slightly. She subconsciously held Hu Chenhuan's hand and smiled. Yes, I will be with you. I will always be with you. Yes. Let's go in. I'll take you to the private room. Okay. Su Yiyan took Hu Chenhuan to a private room in the restaurant. There were many people in the restaurant at this time, and most of them had already eaten. They didn't care about anything else, so no one noticed what they were doing. A waiter who was relatively free saw another guest enter the restaurant. Moreover, the guest was personally brought in by his boss. It was most likely an important guest. He wanted to go in and help, but Su Yiyan stopped him. Chapter 244. The waiter was slightly startled and left with doubts. You were kicked out. The foreman who was in charge of the outside saw her return and asked with a faint smile. From your tone, you don't seem surprised. Who was that man just now? Why did the little boss have to serve him personally? The foreman smiled and pointed to the flowers outside. Did you see those flowers? Yes, they were delivered early in the morning. There are so many flowers on the whole street. How could I not see them? Do you know who sent them? Didn't the person say that he was the little boss's fiancé? After the little girl finished speaking, she suddenly seemed to think of something and widened her eyes. You mean that man is? The foreman didn't say anything and only gave her a look that said, figure it out yourself. On the other side, Hu Chenhuan saw Su Yiyan drive the waiter away. His eyes flashed and he asked knowingly, you drove the waiter away. Who's going to serve us? Su Yiyan couldn't help laughing. Are you satisfied with me, the store manager, serving you personally? What if I'm not satisfied? How dare he not be satisfied with the store manager's service? Had he been indulged too much recently and wanted to go to heaven? Su Yiyan pretended to be unhappy and snorted. If you're not satisfied, ask the waiter to come back. Su Yiyan stared at the person in front of him with a look that said, if you dare to say yes, I'll go out and find the waiter right now. Hu Chenhuan accurately avoided this question. The customer has been sitting here for a while, but no one has come to ask what he wants. It seems that the service attitude of your store is not very good. Is there anything I can help you with? What do you recommend? Our store is an authentic medicinal cuisine restaurant. The medicinal cuisine in our store has a significant effect on difficult and complicated diseases such as baldness, kidney deficiency, and infertility. Considering your personal situation, I recommend our store's set A for you. First, eat a course of treatment, then change to set B, another course of treatment, then change to set C. Hu Chenhuan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Was this girl planning to take advantage of him and make him order all the set meals in their restaurant? After eating these set meals, I guarantee that no matter what illness you have, it will be cured. If you have an illness, it will be cured. If you don't have an illness, it will strengthen your body. There are only benefits and no harm. It's definitely not a loss. After Su Yiyan finished his nonsense, he took a deep breath and smiled at Hu Chenhuan. What do you think, dear guest? From what you said, it seems like you want to develop me into a long-term customer of your shop. I bought so many things from your store. Are there any discounts or benefits? Benefits? Su Yiyan's eyes turned slightly. Of course. What benefits? If the customer spends more than 10,000 yuan in the store manager will be rewarded with a kiss on the cheek. If the customer spends more than 100,000 yuan, the store manager will be rewarded with a kiss on the forehead. If the customer spends more than 1 million yuan, the store manager will be rewarded with a kiss on the lips, and so on. If the customer spends more than 10,000 yuan, the store manager will be rewarded with an IP. It will be effective forever, but no returns or exchanges are accepted. Please be careful when placing your order. Hu Qinhuan never thought that there would be such a benefit. He immediately narrowed his eyes dangerously and said with a chuckle, "Is this a benefit for all customers who spend more than 10,000 yuan?" Chapter 245. Hu Qinhuan looked at Su Yiyan's innocent face and tried hard to promote himself. His eyes darkened slightly, and a fire suddenly rose in his heart, almost igniting his whole body. It sounds good, but such a big business can't be invested just because you want to. Empty promises are useless. You have to give me something practical to make me sure that this is not a losing business. Something practical. Su Yiyan raised her eyebrows slightly, leaned over with a faint smile, and kissed him on the cheek. Are you talking about this? Hu Qinhuan had already prepared himself before she leaned over. He narrowed his eyes and kissed Su Yiyan's lips before she left. Oh. Su Yiyan's eyes narrowed slightly, and a flash of surprise flashed across her eyes. After a short pause, she suddenly struggled. No, oh, it's too much. Hu Qinhuan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He really didn't know whether to say that she was too immersed in the role or that she was deliberately disappointing him. It doesn't matter. I'll make it up in a while. I'll make it up to your VVV. IP customers. Su Yiyan wasn't so easily fooled. She simply sat on Hu Qinhuan and said angrily, "Words are no proof. Our shop doesn't accept the service of getting on the bus first and then buying tickets later. We also don't accept credit. Please pay the membership fee as soon as possible, or else what?" Su Yiyan hugged Hu Qinhuan's neck and threatened him. "I'll remove you from the list of VVV. IP customers." Hu Qinhuan looked at Su Yiyan with a dangerous gaze. "If you remove me, who else do you want to accept as your VVV? IP customers." Su Yiyan didn't panic. She lowered her head and touched Hu Qinhuan's forehead. She looked at him and said, "Leave it empty. It's better to have nothing than to have something substandard." Hu Qinhuan's expression became better. Just as he was about to say something, the door of the private room was suddenly opened. "Yan, I heard from the receptionist that someone..." With a bang, the door of the private room slammed into the wall and bounced back a little, revealing the two people who were tightly hugging each other inside the private room. Qing Juanhao stopped abruptly. A few seconds later, he screamed like a groundhog, "What are you doing?" The two of them, who were originally passionate about role-playing and never tired of it, were instantly awakened. Su Yiyan jumped down from Hu Qinhuan's body and said awkwardly, "Uncle, it's not what you think." "If it's not what I think, then what is it?" "How do you know what I'm thinking? How do you know that what you said is what I think it is?" "Wait, what were you guys doing just now?" "Ha ha ha ha." Qing Juanhao was so flustered that he covered his face with his hands. It was as if his carefully raised cabbage had crawled into the pigsty by itself, and he, the vegetable farmer, had no choice but to accept the blow with tears in his eyes. Su Yiyan. "Oh no, another one has gone crazy." "Ahem, uncle, calm down first. It's really not what you think it is. It's just that my hair accidentally got caught on the button on his shirt, and he helped me take it off." As Su Yiyan spoke, she subtly tugged at Hu Qinhuan, asking him to chime in. Hu Qinhuan. She wanted to say something, but stopped. Qing Juanhao had a suspicious look on his face. Really? More real than a pearl. Qing Juanhao's expression eased a little, but then he suddenly seemed to realize something. He screamed again, "You're lying. There are no buttons on his shirt today." Su Yiyan. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.